everyone, it's Misty here from TheJollyFatElf. Thank you so much for joining me. Welcome to another day in my 2023 holiday card series. If you've been following along, you can kind of tell that I'm doing these little mini series, like 3 videos for the week, and they all kind of go around one theme. And this week we're stretching our stamps. So the main focal point of my cards this week are non-holiday Christmas stamps. So in today's video, we're using a birthday stamp. On Wednesday's video, we're doing a Valentine's Day stamp. And I haven't decided what we're doing Friday because I haven't filmed it yet. But these are somewhat one layer where we're going to use some masking paper, and I'm going to walk you through perspective and how to build a scene, etc. So these are going to be a little bit more advanced, but I'm going to break it down so even if you're not an advanced card maker or if you're new to this, it'll make sense and it'll be a little bit simpler. So that's what we're doing today. And in today's video, I'm using an TheJollyFatElf birthday stamp, and I'm going to walk you through like what to look for and just how you can just sit down and play. And that's what I love to do. If you're new here, hi, welcome, say hello, let me know where you're coming in from. I think I'm going to get a world map. And when you guys tell me where you're from, I'm going to put like a dot so I can see where you guys are coming from. I mean, I can see on the back end of YouTube, but I think it would be cool for you guys to see where you all are. I think that would be really fun. If you're new here, don't forget to subscribe, hit the like button, follow me on Instagram. I have a Facebook group, Facebook page, and I have an Etsy shop. Hopefully, hopefully the kits went live yesterday. I will have a direct link to that video and to that listing in the description box down below. So if you're wondering what I'm talking about, you can find all the information there. So yeah, I'm so excited. So I think that's it. So no more talky. Let's head over to the craft table and I'm gonna walk you through how to turn a really cute TheJollyFatElf birthday stamp set into a really fun and cute Merry Christmas card. The holiday card kits went up yesterday, doing things a little bit different. There are 8 designs for you to pick from. You can either do the small kit, which is 5 designs, 2 each of 5, or the large kit, which is 2 each of 10, or like you can do all of one card, etc. All of that information is in the video and also the description of the listing. So I will have all of that information listed down below. Thank you in advance to those of you who have already ordered. These will start shipping out next week. They are going to have to be DIY. You have to cut them. So that's irritating. And right now we're just doing shipping to the US. I'm going to try to figure out something for those of you who are international because I want you to be able to be in on the fun. So yeah. All right. So as I mentioned in today's intro, we are going to be using different stamp sets this week. So here's a pic of the ones that I've chosen. I did pull in a couple of Christmas stamp sets because I want to build like a Christmas scene. And so yeah, let's get started. Okay, so I am going to be doing a 1-layer card, and that is what I'm setting up right now. I'm just trying to get a feel for my perception. So when you are figuring out perspective, what you want in the foreground, meaning what you want closer to you, is what needs to be stamped first. So I want the giraffe and I want the elephant to be in the front. So I'm going to stamp them first. So I'm going to be stamping with a Copic friendly ink onto Hammermill 100-pound cardstock. I'm also going to be stamping onto Eclipse, like a sun or lunar eclipse masking tape. So this is basically a low tack tape that will take, like it'll take ink. You're going to stamp that and we're going to make a mask. So again, way more advanced than some of the stuff I've done with you guys this far. But once you get the hang of it, it's super simple. I mean, the hardest part of these cards is like layering, all the stamping and cutting, etc. That's the hardest part of these. So Mr. Giraffe is going to be in front of this cute little Christmas tree, but so is the elephant. So I'm going to stamp the elephant next, and we're going to do the exact same thing. I'm going to stamp him where I want him, and then I'm going to stamp onto the masking paper, and then I'm going to cut both of those masks out right on the line. You could even make it a little bit inside of the black line, but right on that black line, because I'm going to be doing a background because they're going to be outside. So I'm going to go ahead and here I'm going to show you, I'm going to get those cut out, and then I'm going to place down the mask, and I'm going to make sure that it lines up and it covers my entire little giraffe. And then I'm going to do the same thing with the elephant. And the next thing we're going to stamp is the monkey and the Christmas tree. So the monkey is going to be kind of behind the elephant, kind of like they're marching to the tree because they both have gifts. And then again, the elephant and the giraffe will be in front of the tree. I am going to go ahead and create masks for these two as well, because I'm going to be doing some stenciling in the background. So again, for perspective, whatever you want closest to you, you stamp first and then kind of build backwards from there. Now, one thing I wish I'd done differently was scoot this over. So our poor monkey is barely hanging on. And the giraffe has so much room over here. So that is probably the one thing that I wish I had done differently. So I am looking for a stencil. I'm trying to decide what I want the backdrop to be. I knew that I wanted them outside. Listen, I know there's no snow, and I know there is no like cedar trees in the savannah. Okay, I get it. But we're going to pretend that they are, living the best life and getting to experience Christmas all of the time. So this is a cloud stencil from Lawn Fawn, and I'm using some tumbled glass distress oxide ink to kind of create some clouds. I'm going to go ahead and add some of that at the bottom too to look a little bit like snow and just kind of give it a little bit. And then I'm going to bring in this stencil that is falling snow stencil. I think every stencil company has a falling snow stencil. I believe this may be MFT. I could be wrong. And then I'm going to bring in some texture paste. And this is just like embossing paste. I think the lunar paste from Simon Hurley would be really fun to play with. I don't have any of those. Here's a vital error I made. I wanted this to be sparkly, but the glitter I used is chunky glitter, and I should have used something a bit more fine. So in the end, you can't really see the sparkle and the shine because the particles were too big. So it sucked, but yeah. But you can see all that texture, and I absolutely love the way it turned out. So that needs to dry, and now we're going to start removing the mask now. Oh, wait, I'm going to go ahead and cut this out because I was like, okay, the giraffe, there's too much space on that side. I want to put this kind of closer together. I apologize for the lighting on my camera. It does not handle white very well. So I'm going to go ahead and cut that out. If going back, I would probably do this step first or scoot that giraffe over so I wouldn't have to worry about cutting it out like this. But it works out in the end, and I love this card. I think you're going to love it too. One thing that happened though is normally this Eclipse masking paper is super simple to take off. This was not. I have to think it's because of, it going through the my die cutting machine, and the fact that that kind of texture paste is basically like an adhesive. So I really struggled and didn't get any really good peel porn. So I apologize for that, but yeah, luckily it didn't mess up the bottom. Now, this is going to be a one-of-a-kind card. It is in my Etsy shop if you're interested. If this was a card that you wanted to color or recreate, here's what I would do. First, I would get all of your stamps, get everything stamped, get everything, mask made, and go scan it. If you have a scanner, you could probably take a really high quality photo of the card and use that as well. And then you can go ahead and then color it and do that again, and then mask it and do your background. That way you have, the background without the dimension scanned, and then you can mass produce these. But if you don't scan it, then this is not a card that you can mass produce. It took me forever. This footage was 2 hours and 1 minute exactly. I've cut it down to 23 minutes. So yeah, I'm a slow colorer, number one. And number two, it does take a little bit of time to put everything down and then having to cut all the mask. Wednesday's card, holy Moses, it took forever. And I peel all the mask off and it looks ridiculous. So I'm going to walk you through how I'm going to fix it. So Wednesday's card is going to be a little bit different. And we'll talk about when we get there. So for this cute little giraffe, I pulled up reference pictures. If you're in Texas and you're not too far from like Cleburne, etc., there's a place called Fossil Rim in Glen Rose. And it's a drive-through animal sanctuary. You can see there, my niece was feeding the giraffe from the car window. We fed the zebras from the car window. It is so much fun. I recommend going like about right now, like fall, so it's not so hot. I recommend going during the week if you can, because if it can take a long time, especially when people stop like to feed the giraffes. I mean, I can remember one time we stayed in line for an hour because there's nobody there to kind of move you through. So yeah, I would definitely go when it's not so crowded. But I couldn't remember what color a giraffe kind of was. So I just picked out some colors, and this is easy Copic coloring, you guys. I am not doing anything fancy. There's no fancy blending. I blend a little bit on the monkey and I blend a little bit on the elephant, but other than that, there's not a whole lot of blending. So while I'm coloring, I'm going to walk you through why I picked this stamp set in particular. The elephant holding the gift. The elephant holding the gift. That gift can be any kind of gift. I mean, and the monkey has a little gift too. And this scene just popped in my head where they were in front of a Christmas tree and, they were bringing the presents to the giraffe to put under the Christmas tree. And that's just kind of how my design process goes. Something just, pops up into my brain and I run with it. So I really, really love how this one turned out. Again, I would do things a little bit differently so I could get the entire monkey into the frame, but I almost like him hanging off. It feels more like an organic scene rather than something forced. So again, Wednesday's card will also be a 1-layer card. And then I have no idea what I'm going to do on Friday. I haven't decided because I haven't sat down to make that card yet. And I haven't necessarily picked out the stamp set I want to use. The stamp set you can expect on Wednesday is that Grumpy Kitty Anti-Valentine's Day stamp set from Clearly Besotted. Oh, I love that cat so much. So we're going to be using her on Wednesday. If you didn't know, I have a cat. She has mush face. And it looks like she's mad all of the time. So, Roxy Sue, where are you? So I colored the monkey with kind of like warm gray. I think it was 37, 35, 33. The elephant, I used warm grays. I think it's W8, W6, W4, and W2. And then I used R20, R22, and then went over it with like the lightest color. For the tree, I used my favorite colors, which are YG 09, 07, 05. This is my favorite kind of bright, fun green color combination. And then I'm going to be paper piecing the present. So I'm going to show you that too. So I mentioned in the kit video why I haven't released like a color with me kit. It's so time consuming. And I will try to have like maybe something that's digital that you can just, pick up in this Etsy shop and print yourself. We'll talk about it later. I don't think I'm going to have time to get a Christmas kit together, but the next kit will probably be birthdays. And so once we do that, then I will share with you. So here's my little bag of scraps I mentioned in last week's video. And I knew that I wanted the red and white stripes. So I am bringing that in, and then I am going to place the elephant. I just need the present. I'm going to go ahead and stamp in the same black ink, and then I'm going to cut this out. And I am going to cut around both of his hands or legs, both of his legs. And then I'm going to cut around the bow, and I'm going to end up with 3 pieces. This can be a little tedious, but even though I hate cutting, I love paper piecing. I think it's because you can add so much pattern where I don't feel comfortable necessarily doing that with markers, etc. So I'm just making sure this fits and making sure I cut everything out. And then I'm going to color the bow. And the bow, we are going red, 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 red. So here are the pieces and how they'll fit. And then, like I said, I decided to go ahead and color the bow first. For the bow, I believe I used R46, R35, R24. I need to remember to start writing these down. I don't know why I never do. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. I apologize. Yeah, R46, R35, and R24. This is a little bit different from what I normally do. I normally start with R59, but the red in this stripe pattern is very vibrant. And so I didn't want a deeper kind of red that would, it's not going to clash, but I also wanted it to be a bit more bright and vibrant. And I thought this color scheme worked out perfectly. Now for the present, I'm going to add a little bit of liquid glue in all of the spots, and then we're going to get this adhered, and I am using some tweezers because these are little tiny and baby. Now, a lot of times I'll say, go around it with a black marker. Not this time, y'all. These were way too little for me to do that, but I absolutely love how this looks. I love it. This card is a favorite, probably one of the favorites I've done. And I have a lot of favorites that I've done. I just love that, I have this stamp set that now I can use it in several different ways. And honestly, that's what, people are like, how do you decide to buy? I'm like, if I can look at a stamp and I can come up with 3 card ideas pretty quickly, then I know that that's what I want. So I went ahead and brought in my 2 newest Doodlebug collections. Gingerbread Lane is this one. I think it's Gingerbread Lane. Am I calling it the wrong thing? I don't know. It's the gingerbread one this year and then whatever the one was last year. And I decide on this really fun Santa pattern. This is definitely going to be a Christmas card and not just a holiday card. And then I'm looking to see what I have available as far as scraps. So I have this kind of aqua that might go, but then I decide I need this bright, vibrant red, and this is Poppy Parade. So I am using I think they're the A2 card cover dies from Stamp Anything. I'm using the red, the scalloped one on the Santa, and then I'm going to use the bigger one on the red. Now that covers the entire card front, so you can always put a white card base underneath it, which is what I'm going to do. I use a little bit of washi tape to put that down, and then I run it through my machine. So that's what I'm going to do with those. And that's just going to create a nice little layer for us to adhere these together. So I love playing with paper. You guys have heard me say that a million times. And I love playing with color. And this kind of aqua, blue, red color combo is very retro, but I also really love it. So this is a new stamp and die set from Hero Arts. This is new as of this year. I love the sentiments, but the dies are a pain in the butt. So I wanted to stamp Merry Christmas. But before we get there, I brought in, I was trying to make an 1/8 of an inch border and I cut too much off of the bottom side. So it's going to have an 1/8 of an inch on the sides and the top, but not the bottom. I even used my wire guide and I was like, I'm not ripping this up. I'm not ripping this up. We're going to go with it. I'm not ripping this up. So yeah. So like I said, this stamp set is from this year from Hero Arts. I'm sorry, I don't remember what it's called, but it has mostly Christmas sentiments, but there's like a Happy New Year. There's a give thanks. There's like a happy fall, y'all, or something like that. Anywho, I wanted to emboss this on red cardstock with white embossing powder. So if you guys watched last week, I embossed several times. So you just use an anti-static tool to remove the static. You stamp with Versamark or any kind of pigment ink. You put embossing powder on top of it, and then you heat set it with the heat tool. Maybe you could do it with a hairdryer, but I really think you need like a heat tool for this. And then I'm going to bring the coordinating dies in and I'm going to cut it out. And that's the good thing about the Hero Arts stamp set. It's a stamp and die set. So it comes with, but okay, first I was going to cut it. And then I was like, no, it's a little crooked. You kind of have to keep the dies in order so you know which one they are. I was having to flip them over and be like, okay, does that look like it says Merry Christmas? Like it was a little irritating, but it was worth it because I really love this stamp set. Like really love this stamp set. Really love this card. I think it turned out perfect. So we're going to move on to getting everything adhered. So this is some of that Queen & Co. foam that I used last week. Again, I'm on a mission to be as zero waste as possible. And I have all of this foam that would just go to waste if I wasn't using it. So it does make your things a little bit taller, but this is a card that should still go through the mail without having to be hand canceled. But if you're worried about it, then you can absolutely hand cancel it. Once I get that done, we're going to get this adhered. So this is double-sided adhesive, so you just have to take the adhesive off the bottom. At first, I was going to use glue dots to glue down the sentiment because you're going to need something sticky because of the texture on the back of this. But then I decided against it. I was like, I'll just go with liquid glue. So I used the Tombow Mono liquid glue. And that liquid glue, if you let it sit, like if you put adhesive on the back of something and you just let it sit without adhering it, it's going to be a removable adhesive. But if you put it on the back and you immediately put it down on something, then it's going to be a permanent adhesive. One of the reasons why I didn't use these glue dots is because they're not mini glue dots. They're actual big glue dots. And I was like, no, I'm not going to. And then I was like, well, let me do tearing tape. And I was like, no, let me just do some glue. So once I do that, I'm going to bring in some colored rhinestones from my stash, and I'm going to use those as ornaments on the tree. And once I do that, this card is done. You guys will have to let me know what you think of this card down below. I love it. And let me know if you can think of a stamp set off the top of your head that you could do this with. Do you have a stamp that you think that you could turn into a Christmas or a holiday card? I'd love to know. Other than that, don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. Be sure to follow me over on Instagram. Check out the links for the Etsy down below. What else? Be sure to let me know where you're coming in from. I'm really excited to see where all of you guys are from. I hope you have a good day, night, weekend, wherever you are. I love your faces. I'll see you Wednesday for another card in this 2023 holiday card series. Bye for now.